why Allah wishes the man to pray to him. Did our predecessors pray to Allah? There is a widespread belief among us that Prophet Muhammad introduced contact prayer, salah, to the world. But Quran testifies that even the earlier prophets and their followers had a ritual of performing contact prayer, salah. It is mentioned in Quran that the prophets and their followers before Muhammad used to have prostration marks on their foreheads. All the prophets, including Ibrahim, Ismail, Musa, Isa and so on, used to offer their prayer to remember God by standing, kneeling, and prostration.
وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَأَمْنًا وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَّقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى وَعَهِدْنَا إِلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ أَن طَهِّرَا بَيْتِيَ لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ.
Quran says in chapter 2, verse 125. And mention, when we made the house a place of return, any time, for the people, and a place of security. And take, O believers, from the standing place of Abraham a place of prayer. And we charged Abraham and Ishmael, saying, Purify my house for those who perform tawaf, and those who are staying there for worship, and those who bow and prostrate in prayer.
وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَى وَأَخِيهِ أَن تَبَوَّآ لِقَوْمِكُمَا بِمِصْرَ بُيُوتًا وَاجْعَلُوا بُيُوتَكُمْ قِبْلَةً وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ.
Quran says in chapter 10, verse 87. And we revealed to Musa and his brother, saying, Take for your people houses to live in Egypt, and make your houses places of worship, and keep up prayer and give good news to the believers.
وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنتُ وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا.
Quran mentioned in chapter 19, verse 31. And he has made me blessed wherever I may be, and he has enjoined on me prayer and poor rate, zakath, so long as I live.
فنادته الملائكة وهو قائم يصلي في المحراب أن الله يبشرك بيحيى مصدقا بكلمة من الله وسيدا وحصورا ونبيا من الصالحين.
Then the angels called to him as he stood praying in the sanctuary, that Allah gives you the good news of Yahya, verifying a word from Allah, and honorable, and chaste, and a prophet from among the good ones. Quran chapter 3, verse 39.
محمد رسول الله والذين معه أشداء على الكفار رحماء بينهم تراهم ركعا سجدا يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل كزرع أخرج شطأه فآزره فاستغلظ فاستوى على سوقه يعجب الزراع ليغيظ بهم الكفار وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات منهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.
Quran says in chapter 48, verse 29. Their marks are in their faces because of the effect of prostration, that is their description in the Torah, and their description in the Injil, like as seed produce that puts forth its sprout, then strengthens it, so it becomes stout and stands firmly on its stem, delighting the sowers that he may enrage the unbelievers on account of them. Allah has promised those among them who believe and do good, forgiveness and a great reward. In the first picture, you can see a child accompanying his father to the masjid. In second image the people are performing obligatory ablution as a preparation for prayer. The final picture shows a mother helping her daughter to fix her hijab, headscarf, and getting ready for prayer. We must maintain concentration in remembering Allah throughout the prayer, and have a clear idea about what you say, recite in the prayer.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى حتى تعلموا ما تقولون ولا جنبا إلا عابري سبيل حتى تغتسلوا وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم إن الله كان عفوا غفورا.
Oh, you who believe, do not approach the prayer when you are intoxicated, until you know well what you say. Quran chapter 4, verse 43. Submit yourself completely to the Supreme Lord, the only one, whom we are obliged and advised to obey and supplicate. This submission is an uncompromised requirement for the prayer according to glorious Quran.
قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين.
Quran in chapter 6, verse 162 and 163, says, Surely my prayer, and my sacrifice, and my life, and my death, are all for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate he has, and this is what I am commanded, and I am the first of those who obey.
إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري.
Surely I am Allah, there is no God but I, therefore serve me, and keep up prayer for my remembrance. Says Quran in chapter 20, verse 14. Quranic teachings value time as a significant blessing. Prayer on time is embedded in a believer's biological clock. Quran rejects and refutes the concept of killing time. For in Islam time is really valuable. Prayer on time would help a believer how to organize his time and make a realistic plan for his all activities of the day and night.
وأقم الصلاة طرفي النهار وزلفا من الليل إن الحسنات يذهبن السيئات ذلك ذكرى للذاكرين.
And keep up prayer in the 2 parts of the day, and in the first hours of the night. Surely, good deeds take away evil deeds, this is a reminder to the mindful. Says Quran, in chapter 11, verse 114.
أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا.
Keep up prayer from the declining of the sun, till the darkness. Zohar, Azar, Moribund Esha. Of the night and the morning recitation, Fajr, surely the morning recitation is witnessed. Quran chapter 17, verse 78.
فإذا قضيتم الصلاة فاذكروا الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبكم فإذا اطمأننتم فأقيموا الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا.
The 5 prayer time is recorded in the biological clock of a believer. Quran chapter 4, verse 103 says, surely prayer is a timed ordinance for the believers. Doing tasks in their due times brings peace of mind and comfort. If we really value our lives, then we must do value the importance of time. The time once lost is never recoverable. In the first picture, you can see men praying at a park. The second image shows the traveler's prayer by stopping their journey. The third picture shows the congregational prayer of prisoners. The final image shows the prayer of soldiers in a battlefield.
وَإِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فَلَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ أَن تَقْصُرُوا مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ إِنْ خِفْتُمْ فليس عليكم جناح أن تقصروا من الصلاة إن خفتم أن يفتنكم الذين كفروا إن الكافرين كانوا لكم عدوا مبينا.
Quran says in chapter 4, verse 101, and when you journey in the earth, there is no blame on you if you shorten the prayer, if you fear that those who disbelieve will cause you distress, surely the unbelievers are your open enemy. Here, you can see the different postures of congregational prayer. The images also signify the importance of congregational prayer, for both men and women. These images shows us how orderly the congregational prayers are to be held. Neatly lined up men and women also teaches the significance of order in life and rituals. Congregational prayer is a prelude to unity among the ranks, closeness of hearts, and promotion of the spirit of brotherhood. It is a kind of informal attendance check, and the best way of identifying individuals. It is a sort of free-of-charge meeting, familiarity with each other's problems, and a platform for social cooperation and encouragement. A collective plea to Allah, which is more powerful.
وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ.
And keep up prayer, and pay the poor, rate, zakat, and bow down with those who bow down. In Quran chapter 2, verse 43. This picture exemplifies the devotion and commitment to congregational prayer among the women. This mass gathering of women negates the baseless arguments of saying congregational prayer irrelevant to women. The prayer at Mecca and Medina during the pilgrimage of Hajj and Umrah is congregational and is more desirable to do so.
يا مريم اقنتي لربك واسجدي واركعي مع الراكعين.
The congregational prayer is recommended for both men and women. O Maryam, keep to obedience to your Lord and humble yourself and bow down with those who bow. Says Quran in chapter 3, verse 43.
وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلتَّقْوَى.
And enjoin prayer on your followers, and steadily adhere to it. We do not ask you for subsistence, resource for supporting life. we do give you subsistence. And the good end is for guarding against evil. Quran chapter 20, verse 132. In congregational prayer, individuals stand in suitable rows, irrespective of gender and age. Setting aside all distinctions of position, race, language, wealth, etc. It is advised, men and children in front rows and women behind. Meeting one another makes believers experience a sense of belonging that inspires courage, power and hope. This collection of images shows the different scenes from Friday congregational prayer. In the first image you can see Imam of Friday prayer giving weekly sermon. The second image focuses to the Imam of prayer addressing the people gathered for prayer. The final image shows believers preparing themselves for Friday prayer. The Friday prayer, Jumu'ah Salat, is very important for all. It is not only an act of worship, but also a manifestation of social strength and the grandeur of Islam. It increases the awareness of followers of the divine guidance in a weekly gathering. The information given during Friday prayer sermons should make the people aware of social issues concerning themselves and the rest of the world. It is also a platform for planning and evaluating community welfare activities. This image shows a group of believers praying inside a mosque during an Eid festival day. The illumination also makes the gathering more charismatic and encouraging. The first picture here shows the Eid al-Fitr prayer held at the masjid near Taj Mahal, in India. The second image shows the Eid al-Adha prayer held at the Masjid al-Haram of Mecca. Eid, the Islamic festivals are a means of reminding us to remember and thanking Allah, and shape our life as per His advice. Special prayers and supplications have been mentioned for such occasions. Hajj is meant both for responding to the call of Allah through Ibrahim, and facilitating a global gathering of believers, who collectively devote themselves in remembering Allah. Hajj provides a platform to find remedy for social issues, and plan for the future nationally and globally.
إن المنافقين يخادعون الله وهو خادعهم وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى يراءون الناس ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا.
Lazy man's showy prayer. Quran says in chapter 4, verse 142, when they stand up to prayer, they stand without earnestness, to be seen of men, but little do they hold Allah in remembrance. Quran says in chapter 107, verse 4-6, chapter 96, verse 9 and 10, chapter 9, verse 54, also speaks on the approaches of hypocrites on prayer. In the first image here, a soldier offering his prayers during battle. The second image shows a group of soldiers performing congregational prayer. The final picture shows a civilian man praying during a war.
وَإِذَا كُنْتَ فِيهِمْ فَأَقَمْتَ لَهُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فلتقم طائفة منهم معك وليأخذوا أسلحتهم فإذا سجدوا فليكونوا من ورائكم ولتأت طائفة أخرى لم يصلوا فليصلوا معك وليأخذوا حذرهم وأسلحتهم وَدَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ تَغْفُلُونَ عَنْ أَسْلِحَتِكُمْ وَأَمْتِعَتِكُمْ فَيَمِيلُونَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَيْلَةً وَاحِدَةً وَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِن كَانَ بِكُمْ أَذًى مِّن مَّطَرٍ أَوْ كُنتُم مَّرْضَىٰ أَن تَضَعُوا أَسْلِحَتَكُمْ وَخُذُوا حِذْرَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ أَعَدَّ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابًا مُّهِينًا.
And when you, prophet, are among them, and keep up the prayer for them, let a party of them stand up with you, and let them take their arms, then when they have prostrated themselves let them go to your rear. And let another party who have not prayed come forward and pray with you, and let them take their precautions and their arms, for those who disbelieve desire that you may be careless of your arms and your luggage, so that they may then turn upon you with a sudden united attack, and there is no blame on you, if you are annoyed with rain or if you are sick, that you lay down your arms, and take your precautions. Surely Allah has prepared a disgraceful chastisement for the unbelievers. Chapter 4, verse 102 of Quran. It should always be borne in mind that God does not need man's prayer, because He is free of all needs. He is only interested in our prosperity and well-being in both the worlds. When He emphasizes the necessity of prayer, and charges us with a duty, He means to help us, because whatever good we do is for our own benefit, and whatever offense we commit, is against our own souls. Here, too, man is the focal point, and his welfare is the main concern. The benefits that man can derive from the Islamic prayer are immeasurable, and the blessings beyond imagination. This is not just a theory or a guesswork, but a fascinating spiritual experience. Thank you for listening to us.